Hello everybody, I'm Hacklebeast, and this is IWL versus IFU. For the first matchup, we have IFU Cryok, who I did not know was on IFU, but apparently he is, as the Teal Terran. And in the right position, we have IWL Gag. IWL Gag. There we go. Capitalization correctly? Yes, everything is capitalized correctly. Although I should put a dash instead of a dot for IWL. And the score is not 4-1. The score is 0-0. Okay, so TVT, a TVT on Icarus. Cryok has really nice positioning here because he's going to have a much better pushing path. Gag can't quite get the lines of defense he really wants to. If you can understand what I'm trying to say. When Cryok pushes, he's going to be pushing really close to Gag's base. And Gag is going to be forced to, he has to build his buildings closer to the center, where Cryok doesn't necessarily have to worry about that as much. He has to worry about elevators into his base. It'd be really easy for Gag to switch from a contain into into dropping in, where Gag doesn't have that opportunity. Not to mention, if Gag was to set up, like, a line to try to defend his base, it's really easy for Cryok to attack the side of the line rather than attacking it head-on. So, Cryok went gas before barracks? Huh. Something's up. Went gas before barracks and is now sending out an early scout. Like, super fast factory? Proxy vulture, maybe? I don't know, something's weird. I don't know if he can quite fit in one here, but he could build it on the outside and float it in if he wanted to. Or just run him in. Or it could not be a proxy. No, he's building it at home. That is going to be a very fast factory. Getting it up is going to finish before Gag even starts his. So if Cryok wants to go for some early vulture aggression, he's going to have that opportunity. What's the follow-up, though? Is it going to be an expansion? Is it going to be a second factory? We'll have to see. It could even be a starport. Oh. Cryok being annoying and building the manor eBay, preventing Gag from landing his command center. Although it really didn't matter, because by the time that, if Gag had floated that over, it would have been destroyed by the time he could land it. Gag only made it a bigger issue than it was because he just didn't float it over. And Cryok is going to go for a starport after this. Ooh, a tank, really? With siege mode. I thought for sure he'd be going for, I thought for sure he would be going for vultures. But now he's getting an immediate control tower, so could it be a siege tank drop? This map is a very good map for landing siege tanks right up on this high ground. You can hit the command center and you can hit almost all the SCVs. I'm not sure if you can quite hit the ones mining this mineral patch. But still, it's a huge threat if he is going to go for a very fast tank drop. Cryok now building vultures, and he is getting a dropship. So he could be trying to land some tanks up here, could be trying to elevator some units into the base, could do both. Just fly the dropship along the right side, drop some vultures here, continue to fly down, drop the tanks here. Gag's tank isn't going to be for a little while, and even after it comes out, one tank can't beat the other tank because it'll be on the high ground. Well, here we go. It is 2 tanks and a vultures. The tank is almost certainly going to be placed on the cliff. The question is the vultures going to be placed there too, or is he going to use the vultures somewhere else? Tank sieging up. He doesn't quite realize that it's coming yet, as he would not have vision, but now he certainly knows as the tank got a shot off. And no, the vultures are just going to be... No, 1 vulture up and 1 vulture not up. Forces all the SCVs off. Gag should... I think he should siege tank there. And now, vulture in the main, going to try to get an SCV kill, but probably not going to be able to pick one off. He did get 3 shots on SCVs, but they were not all on the same one. So he's going to deny mining here, going to take out the refinery. He's not in range of the command center, though. Even if he was to get in range of the command center, could just lift. And meanwhile, taking an expansion of its own. Now, building a second factory. And, ooh, going to drop another tank with 3 Marines, making it very difficult to be taken out. But no, Gag got a Wraith out, and the Wraith is really going to put an end to that. Even with the other dropship there, if he had managed to get the dropship there slightly faster, then he could drop the Marines there, and 3 Marines probably would have been enough to deter the Wraith. But good counter by Gag, going with a Wraith follow-up. And he now has 2 starports, one of them producing Wraiths, one of them not. Probably wants to have that one. Nah, there we go. Controlled tower. But Cryok has no anti-air. Crack has no anti-air. There are 3 Marines, and he doesn't have an armory. The eBay is just finishing up, but he's actually going to have a hard time getting up any turrets. And he should start throwing down some turrets. I'm not sure why he's playing so passively with the Wraiths. He could really get in there and start to kill SCVs. There's only 1 Marine. Should probably have them both attacking the SCV and not the turret. This seems really intent on taking out that barracks. Ooh, large number of tanks coming up from Gag as a follow-up. And, well, mass repair on the barracks. The Wraiths can't take it down before that turret finishes. So I'm not exactly sure what he's planning on. But here come the siege tanks. The siege tanks do provide vision, going to help win that battle. Turret does finish, though, and the turret's going to take out 1 Wraith. Not quite get the other one. Only 30 health remaining, though. And now the siege tanks can move forward. There are only 3 left for Cryok, and they aren't even sieged yet. Well, 2 of them are. I wonder if that was Gag's plan, to try to take out the barracks to just deny vision in a tank battle. I don't know how Gag has enough gas for this. He has 2 factories producing tanks and 2 starports producing Wraiths and getting Cloak. And building another factory. That's a lot of gas. And yet he still has a little... Yeah, he had a little bit more a moment ago before he started building that factory. Gag can't seem to quite find the right range where that barracks won't be attacked by the turret. There we go. Getting Goliath range upgrade. Not quite having Goliaths out yet, but actually he doesn't even have any in production. Just getting Goliath range upgrade. I guess that's coming up next. Oh. Oops. Accidentally letting that Wraith die. Croc with another dropship out. He can try to put some pressure back on with it, but he's going to have some trouble. Anyway, looks like he used one of his dropships to ferry out some SCVs. Wants to set up a secret third base. And actually, it's a third base that's going to be pretty hard to stop if Gag ever does discover it, as he can't, excuse me, he can't really get Wraiths out there because there are too many turrets, yet it's going to be hard for him to justify diverting siege tanks in that direction. And Crack's still producing a very large number of dropships. He's up to... Is the third one making? I thought there was a fourth. Ah, there it is. Yeah, the 3 dropships with the 4th on the way. And here comes Gag to repay the favor that Cryok did to him earlier, now going to siege up on the high ground. But this time, Cryok cannot use Wraiths to take it out. He's going to have to just try to do it with siege tanks, and that's going to be pretty difficult. Don't know why he's not focusing on that tank. Ooh, more siege tanks being dropped in. Loses one of them, but still, that is looking like a very formidable position to try to take out. Luckily for Cryok, though, he does have this hidden expansion that's going to make up for the fact that he's going to lose the natural. Here comes drop. A lot of those were just fake dropships to divert fire, kind of humorously. But Cloak goes down on that Wraith. I don't think he's quite realized that there's a hidden Wraith in there. And it's going to go down anyway. Goliath being dropped on the siege tanks. Siege tanks couldn't hit it. So Crack actually did deal with that very well. I didn't think he'd quite have such an easy time. But is Gag going to go for the attack? He's unsieging his entire tank line. He does have more, it looks like. But going into... Oh, he's going to have to eat a lot of shots. He's clumping up his tanks. He's actually going to lose a lot here. I'm not even sure if he can break it. He can and break the front. He's bringing in more tanks now, but Gag's actually doing this very sloppily, losing far more than he should. Tanks on the high ground for Cryok going to make a huge difference here. And Gag, throwing away too many tanks in that engagement. It's now actually tied supply. Dead even, 105, 105. Oh, Gag just lost a tank. Meanwhile, Gag's setting up a third base. Now, pretty close to his opponent, but as long as he keeps this contained, everything will be fine. Cryok, with what's pretty much impenetrable at this point, Gag really just does not have the resources to go and attack that, divert in that direction. What are the upgrades looking like? Cryok has +1 and +2 attack is on the way. Gag does not have an attack upgrade. Is he at least getting it? I haven't seen any Goliath from him. He might not even have an armory. Ooh, he spent so much gas on his tanks and his factories and his starports, and he doesn't even have an armory yet. That's going to be a huge advantage for Cryok throughout this game. To not have an armory in a TVT. Ugh. Looks like Gag wants to get a site on when Crack does expand. Cryoc doing a drop on Gag's expansion. Gag actually has a lot of expansions now. He's trying to exert a lot of map control because he realizes he has some sort of a contain on Cryoc, although Cryoc is ignoring it with the dropships. Ooh, Mind Drag with the Goliaths. Kinda cute, but doesn't quite work out enough. Goliath's going to go down. So, Cryoc now, about to run out in his main, still has some at the natural, and then has the third, but about to be on 2 bases compared to Gag's 1, 2, 3, and possibly 4. Ignoring the main, which is also almost mined out. So, really, the only thing Cryoc has going for him this game is his dropships and his upgrade advantage. Gag still with no upgrades. I'm not sure if Cryoc has managed to get +2. Hopefully he doesn't drop on those mines. No, doesn't drop on them. Drop over this base, immediately lifting up the command center. And probably going to lose 1 dropship to the turret, but otherwise should be able to do some good damage here. Finally does get an armory, but it's going to be killed off. And the command center flying directly over the Goliaths, not going to make it out. Meanwhile, other side, it looks like Cryoc's trying to expand over here. And let's deal with that 1 turret. So, large force moving in for Gag. He's supply blocked, and it looks like he wants to go in for an attack. There are tanks on the high ground. Gag's going to have to suffer a lot of casualties to advance, but it looks like he's willing to just accept it, moving forward. That's such a huge tank force, but he's taking so many shots. There's so many tanks on the high ground. That high ground advantage, it even makes a difference with siege tanks. Oh man, Gag throwing away a huge army. Cryoc had too much stuff, and what was a 30 supply lead is now a 20 supply deficit. Oh, Gag getting impatient. It also had to do with the fact that he has +2 compared to +0. That's so big. It's such a huge upgrade disadvantage for Gag. Yeah, now down by 30 supply. Just throwing away more units trying to attack. I don't think he quite realizes that there's an expansion up here. But now Crack's going to be able to take this, float out this command center here, and he has just about half the map. He'll be on even bases with Gag. Meanwhile, these units were never cleaned up. So Cryoc's just gonna chill there with them, prevent another expansion from going down. Actually, 1, 2, both players only have 2 bases right now. And once Cryoc floats the command center out here, he'll actually be ahead on bases. No, Gag set up 1 down here. Gag's a little bit erratic with his base positioning. He's just kind of placing them all over the map. Ooh, Cryoc gonna sneak in some vultures into Gag's, I believe it was his 3rd, and taking out a lot of vultures. Meanwhile, Cryoc, for the first time this game, is actually able to push out of his front. But this is not looking good for Gag at all. He's losing so much economy. He's down by 50 supply now, and he has that upgrade disadvantage. Uh-oh. It looks like Funny's about to be eliminated. There we go. If he flies to... Dude, I want to see Cryok build a turret here. Yeah, we're going to kill Funny. That's funny, right? Yeah, we're going to kill Funny. That would be funny. Ah ha ha ha. Give me ally! He realizes I'm about to die. I kind of really want to see him get eliminated. Lots and lots of tanks with a couple of Goliaths coming down from Cryok. They're going to go for this base. Gag does have a good number of factories here, so that's going to be a pretty big blow. It would appear that Cryok did oblige him. And probably should be firing at the siege tanks instead of the turrets. There we go. So this base is going to go down for Gag as well. Not sure why he's sieging up, but it doesn't matter. Tank drop on this base, very effective. TT. Hyny. Is that Russian? I don't know what Hyny. Hyny. Apparently TT was not GG, he was just crying. He's lost all of his mining bases. Funny even mentioning that his opponent has +2 attack. Gag really just not paying attention with his SCVs, has 9 idle over here. He really cannot afford to have 9 idle SCVs. And big drop from Cryok going into Gag's base. And I do not know how Gag's going to be able to defend this. There are tanks all over the map for Cryok, all of them doing damage. It looks like he finally was able to save this base. Gonna lose that factory though. It's going to burn down, no SCVs around. Did Gag ever get an upgrade? Yeah, he did eventually get +1, but Cryok got +3. Okay, almost certain that is Russian. And Da is yes. So, Gag's like, am I fucked? And Funny's like, yeah, kinda. There we go. GG. And Cryok takes game 1 for his new team. Now, as I was saying before, if IWL cannot beat IFU here, IWL is officially eliminated. To get into the playoffs, because here's how it works. There are 3 weeks left. But there are 3 weeks left and 3 players who could possibly not get into the playoffs. Reps, SAS, and IWL. SAS won today, so they're in. They are definitely in the playoffs. There's no way they cannot be. Yeah, there's no way they cannot be. So that leaves Reps and Gag with 3 weeks left. Both players get an automatic win in their last 3 weeks because they'll be playing a team that's not in it anymore. So, IWL is behind Reps by 2, and they need with 2 weeks left. So Reps needs to lose both weeks, and IWL needs to win in the next 2 weeks. Win their next 2 games. This one is one of them. So, we have Cryok as the Red Terran versus... Oh god. God, it's Executor. It's Executor! Is it ER or OR? ER. I believe OR is the Pokemon. God, I hope he knows how to attack in PvT better than he does in PvZ, man. God, I hope. Anyway, so the other stipulation is that not only does Reps need to lose not only does Reps need to lose their last game, because they have one more game that's not a walkover. So Reps needs to lose that game. Then IWL needs to beat IFU. IWL needs to beat their other opponent. And IWL needs to get a 4-0 in one of those. Obviously, they cannot get a 4-0 this time around. So they need to get a 4-0 against their last opponent, who I think is SAS. They need to 4-0 SAS. That's a pretty tall order. But technically possible. Oh, no, it's not SAS. It's NB. Excuse me. Need to 4-0 NB. Still pretty damn hard. Alright. So, both players doing standardly. Cryok looks like Cryok's gonna play it safe and go Siege Expand. Executor did not build an early... Oh, he is building an early Zealot. Excuse me. Building an early Zealot and going to get goons behind it. He'll do stuff. Funny has found a nice spot where his command center cannot be accidentally killed by turrets. Apparently he's having a lot of fun dancing it around, though. Someone's bored. That is apparent. Dude, I really hope Executor goes carriers and then accidentally parks them here and kills off the command center. Because that would be funny. Fight Spirit's a terrible map for carriers, though, so probably not. Not that people even go for carriers on maps that are good for carriers. First goon's out. Range is about halfway done. But probably not going to be able to do very much, as no expansion's been set down yet. Anyway, 2 SCVs with 4 Marines, more than enough to deal with the Zealot and the Goon. Actually, those SCVs are not high enough on the ramp. The Goon can kind of range them. A little bit. Fortunately misses with most of the shots. Cryok has still not yet found his opponent. Going to even list the second Goon. And range is almost done around the time that other Goon gets there. So he might be able to try to put a little bit more pressure on. But the siege tank has popped out now, so it's still going to be really difficult. And mines are on the way, so we got an FD push. Now, it comes down to how well Executor can micro this. He needs to take out a good number of these units before they can make it all the way to his front. Looks like 6 Marines and a tank with vultures to reinforce. He did take out the SCVs, which is an important part, but he needs to start to try to take out some of those Marines. He does have goon range. He should at least attempt to. Ooh, just running completely backwards. So, good micro by Executor. Just trying to stall. Needs to get out a few more Dragoons. Is Cryok going to pull back, though? Yeah, it looks like he is. Moving back with most of his forces, but hiding a vulture up top. Might try to go for a backstab if Executor moves out too quickly. Meanwhile, expansion's done. And second factory on the way. Siege mode getting pretty close. These mines are going to be the indicator as to when Executor is moving out, which is when Cryok will bring in that vulture, try to pick up some easy kills. So, takes out the mines. Cryok not going to move in with that vulture. Cryok did keep a lot of his marines alive, though, which is kind of interesting. Not going to have a huge relevance later in the game, but they can help sometimes. Take a little bit of damage. If Executor goes for a shuttle, they can be rather annoying in that regard. And good reaction by Cryok, retreating with the vulture before the goons could even get a shot off. So he'll keep that alive. Alright. Now, Cryok has really only been making tanks this game. Now, that's his second vulture. So he really hasn't had a lot of good mine spreadage, and Executor already has an observer out. So it's going to be pretty hard for him to actually get out a good number of mines out on the field. There we go. Having a little bit of trouble getting by the SCVs. But it's something that Cryok should definitely be trying to do. You gotta get those mines out on the field. Citadel down for Executor. Gonna get some leg speed for the Zealots. Allow him to be at least able to compete with tanks. Looks like he's not going to be placing the mines around the map. Just going to be placing the mines at all the expansions that Executor could possibly take. Just wants to know when he's trying to expand, so he might be able to punish it a little bit better. He actually is just placing one at every expansion. Alright, nothing wrong with that. Meanwhile, Cryok starting to move forward a little bit with his tanks. He has a good enough number that he can guard this choke instead. And he's starting to get into a position where he can take the third. Templar Archives halfway done. Speed just finishing up as well. I'm trying to think, has Protoss even lost a unit this game yet? I think they might have lost a scouting SCV, but other than that, Protoss has been completely perfect. And by perfect, I mean passive. They've been really passive this game. Does send out some Dragoons, though, going to try to delay the third from going down. No, almost loses an observer, but not quite. Keeping it alive. And Stargate going down now. He didn't throw the Stargate down at the same time as the Templar Archives. So does that mean he's going for DTs or High Templar? Or does he just mess up the timing a little bit? It doesn't seem to be getting any Templar. Anyway, Cryok bringing a few tanks. It's going to be enough to deal with the one goon. And keeps the goon alive, though. Would not want to lose a unit. He's eventually going to be forced to retreat, but the longer he can delay this, the better. Siege mode done, and there goes a Dragoon. More Speed Cell is coming in, though. Those are actually going to help out quite a bit, as Cryok does not have any vultures here to try to take him out. And Executor is going to be able to win that engagement, He's not going to be able to snipe the command center, but still manages to get a good number of tanks. It doesn't cost him very much, mostly zealots. Interesting attack. Looks like he took the mine hit instead of just bringing an observer. Cryog's been really as passive as Executor's been this game. Cryok has not gotten a lot of mines out on the field. Like, these are the first mines that have actually gone out to not scout for expansions. There were a couple here, I guess, but he just does not have the vulture count that a Terran normally has at this point in the game. Tries to go for a fourth, but gets taken out. And Cryok's still having a lot of trouble taking this expansion. Far more than he should be. Laying down some mines to try to prevent reinforcements from continuing to help. An observer's able to see a couple of those mines. And it looks like Executor's going to go for the attack. It's going to cost him all the units, but he realizes that he really doesn't want to commit too much more to this defense. So just going to use what he has left. Oops. Probe starts mining a little bit too soon, apparently. A few more Dragoons trying to come up. They're not going to be able to snipe the command center. Does bring it to red, though. So we'll see if Cryok is paying attention to that. And apparently not. Apparently he's not paying attention. Oh, there we go. One's repairing. So, first Arbiter on the way for Executor. Probe transfer across the middle of the map, and they're going to transfer right through the only vultures Cryok has. Oh, man. Like, Cryok laid no mines, and yet still manages to get 30 probes with mine drags. Well, 13 probes, but still, that's ridiculous. How Cryok has had no vulture presence and yet still manages to do that much damage. Mines, man. So, Storm almost done. Executor is starting to get some High Templar out. Both players deathly afraid about moving into the middle of the map. Seriously, there's like no presence in the middle of the map. There's like these Dragoons here, and then these vultures down here, and then V vultures here, and that's it. And none of them are really in the middle. But Executor, it's gearing up. Is Executor going to be the first one to attack? Could that possibly be? Seems highly unlikely. Nope. Executor gonna go clear out the mines over here. Try to prevent another horrible mine drag on transferring probes. I guess the answer to the question is yes. Executor does play PvT in the same way he plays PvZ. In that he's not going to do anything. Not going to do anything. There's a line that stretches across the map, and Executor is just not going to cross it. There's clearly a red side and an orange side. There shall be no mixing of the two. Anyway, Croc getting pretty close to being mined out of his main. Still has some of his natural, and his third's fine. Executor, same position. I think he has a little bit less. But Executor's maxed. So you would think he has to attack. You would think. But no, he's not even going to bring his Arbiters out. And kind of he's bringing a force around that seems like it's mine clearing, but he's getting awfully dangerously close to siege tanks. Lots and lots of siege tanks with like no support. There's a couple Goliaths here, but that's it. It's just siege tanks. Nope. Nope. Gotta be drinking with the mine. Executor's trying to sneak in some vultures to do harass. Unfortunately, there are no probes here. You would think that somebody could put down some good storms or some good stasis here, but Executor's just going to keep his Arbiters at home. Because why the hell would you want to bring them out into the battle? They might accidentally get killed or something. They're expensive, man. You got to keep those things safe. Cryok parking in Science Vessel right here. Wants to try to stop a recall. Not that would happen. And looks like he got an EMP off. Hitting some of the goons. Cryok trying to move across. Storm? No storm. That Templar was EMP'd. This one, though, has 2 storms. But not going to be able to get in there. Cryok slowly pushing out. Oh, finally bringing an Arbiter. An Arbiter would be rather effective. Completely missing with those storms, though. Apparently got some mine kills, though. See, now, Executor has a maxed army. It's like at 190. Yet this is all he has. Where is his army? Okay, here's a big chunk of it. Here's 3 Arbiters. Chillin'. Wouldn't want those things to get EMP'd. But for having a maxed army, he has no map presence. And Cryok has 2-1 upgrades and is knocking down Executor's front. Unfortunately, Terran is not Zerg. So, when you do nothing against a Terran, you're actually losing, as opposed to winning. Do these have energy? Looks like some of them do have energy. That'd be a really nice place to storm. There we go! Finally, for how clumped these tanks are, there should have been a lot more killed by storm. But, got some good ones there. Cryok refusing to have properly constructed Terran armies. Fuck vultures, fuck Goliaths, just siege tanks, man. Because siege tanks are pretty damn good. Stasis on the science vessel, so that's good. And actually hit a good number of tanks as well. But there are a lot more to replace the ones that got stasis. Pack of units. I think he's still trying to clear mines with that small force. Looks like he is. Meanwhile, Cryok coming up to attack the 3rd with siege tanks. Executor with hold position Arbiters loses 1 to Goliaths. And it looks like this base is going to go down as well. Unfortunately, the Goon's a little bit too late to drag that mine into the probes. Very close. And a pretty good stasis going down on those tanks, but considering he only has like 10 Goons, not going to make a difference. I don't know why Executor has no speed lots this game. Speed lots would be very helpful. So, Dragoons taking out the pylon wall, then not moving forward, so they're actually not going to save the forge or the nexus. Alright, there we go. Now they're coming up. Are they going to yeah, they can finish off the tank. Executor has 201 upgrades, and 3 attack just about to finish. Now, recall on the 3rd. Storm going down on the SCVs. Pretty good. There are 2 siege tanks here, so that's going to be able to probably kill off all the units. Probably? No, not quite. Gonna take a couple extra reinforcements to take care of that. The entire natural is gone. I'm surprised that Executor didn't keep some kind of contain there, but instead bringing all of his siege tanks to the other side of the map to take out Executor's other mining bases. He has stopped mining from the 3rd and the natural, taking out mining from the 4th as well. Executor on 2 mining bases at the moment. Ooh. Oh, this is just icky from the Protoss perspective, man. It's like textbook example of what happens when you let Terran have all the map control they want. They build siege tanks, and then you just kind of cry to yourself. Executor did manage to stop mining from here, and Cryok only expanded to here now, so he hasn't been mining very much for a little while. Should probably send in units to take out this base. It looks like Executor's going to be able to kill off everything here because Cryok's not moving forward. Meanwhile, Executor going for an attack on Cryok's only mining base, but it looks like there are enough mines here to save it. There's an observer though, so after the vultures go down, they can clear out the mines. More reinforcements, yes. The mines do delay them long enough for reinforcements to come in. This expansion is completely dead though. There's no way he can save it. Still though, managing to not be able to take out the few goons here and losing the army. A bunch of Templars now moving in, some good storms. Did that one really whiff? I think he really whiffed that storm. And it looks like Cryok's actually not going to be able to finish this off. He didn't send all of his siege tanks to kill it off. He tried to send only a fraction of it, but there were too many gateways there. And Cryok now taking out Executor's 6th. Cryok still trying to establish a base here. He's finally getting siege tanks into a good position to attack units from the high ground. And this base is completely fine. More D-matrix for the siege tanks. Okay. That Nexus is gone. Executor has rebuilt this, so now on 2 mining bases. Cryok secured this, so 2 mining bases for him as well. Even economies, essentially. But Cryok's been on pretty bad economy for a while, so he's only at 140 supply. Well, Executor's finally going to be able to stop this attack. If Executor's actually able to win this, it'd be the most passive PvT win I think I've ever seen. Cryok almost on perfect upgrades. Needs +3 to finish it off, but not researching it. Probably doesn't even need it. This forge still unpowered, so he can't get his +1 shield upgrade. +2 armor just finished though. Recall down on the 6 o'clock, and not a whole lot of defenses here. Is that mine? Oh! Mine hitting a bunch of goons, but at the same time taking out far more SCVs. Now EMP going down on the rest of the goons. Everything's EMP'd, no energy in the Arbiters. He is going to be able to take out the goons here, but he lost a lot of SCVs in the process. And looks like he's going to lose a comstat too. Ugh. Well, Cryok can be able to reestablish his base. He does not have SCVs to transfer over here, though. So he's... Oh, he does have SCVs. Never mind. So, I'm going to be able to repopulate that one. This base, though, getting pretty low. Executor rebuilt his natural now. Mine the few minerals left there, like about 1,000. No, 1,500. This base is almost gone. This base and this base still have a good amount. And Executor will reestablish this one. So Executor's still pretty good on money. Whew. Cryok moving in for another attack. This time now bringing vultures with the army, which is good. And use those vultures to try to distract the zealots. And yep, a lot of the zealots are going to go down. Scanning forward to see that the natural is still empty. He's going to be able to take out that nexus again. And is he going to go for the... He is going to go for the natural. Some of the units, the other units are going to go try to retake out the third. But the third is now mined out. So there's not a lot for him to go and attack here. Man. I want to say he could have ended the game. Back when he had this huge tank army here and he had Executor completely contained, if he had just pushed up the ramp and won. Anyway, big attack coming for Executor from the other side. Good EMP hit. A lot of shields are lost on the units. Storm going down, hitting a couple tanks. That was a good storm, though. And now reinforcements coming in from the other side. So a good surround from Executor is going to take care of that threat, crushing the Terran army once again. Now Cryok under 100 supply. Meanwhile, just about mined out at his third. He needs to try to take either this expansion or this expansion to really continue. Looks like he's going to go in for an attack with a bunch of tanks and vultures. Executor does not have a lot of units here, but he can get them over there. Looks like Executor will once again lose the 6 o'clock expansion. Some reinforcements coming in from behind, but not enough. A couple reinforcements coming in from the top to try to get a two-pronged attack going, but the Terran's in a good position. It still might not be enough. Some more reinforcements now. It's at least going to be close either way. Storm misses everything. And yep, the reinforcements from the top are going to be enough. So Executor kills off Cryok's attacking force once again, but still loses the Nexus. The Cryok is doing some damage with all these attacks, but the issue is that he keeps throwing away his army and now will be unable to defend this expo, which is what he really needs. Executor coming in. Going to be able to take it out. Space still does have a good amount of money. The third is completely gone, though. Well, looks like Executor rebuilt the Nexus here. I I think he actually might have spent more money building Nexi at this place that got taken out rather than how many minerals were even left. But he will be able to finish that off. And then the right side of the map will be the only side with money left. Very good storms going off. A storm recall. 5 kills and 7 kills, so 12 SCV kills. And then some more after that. Crack trying to come up to defend, but he's lost a lot of SCVs. What was E-Matrix? The Goliath. He's lost a lot of SCVs. Still has a good amount here just because he's transferred so many in this direction. It was completely oversaturated. And Cryok will barely be able to hold on to it, but he needs to do more than that. He needs to actually attack, or not actually attack, but actually expand. Once again, establishing the commands, or the nexus there. This base is almost gone for Executor. This base still has a bit to go. So either player have a good bank. No, both players have kept their money relatively low. Cryok with a lot of tanks, but if you look at the supply, this is pretty much everything Cryok has now. If he loses his army once again, he'll be down to nothing. He does not have the economy to really get anything out. He's just on one base. So he needs to be very careful with this army and how he uses it. Executor now getting very close to maxed once again. I don't know where the army is because that's not a maxed army. It looks like Crack's going to be able to shut down this expansion yet again. And then he just has to hold off the counterattack. But if Executor is able to crush him with the counterattack, Cryok will end up losing this game. Stasis on those front 2 tanks. I guess it's going to save the Nexus for a little while. Mines are going to see where the opponent is. So he knows where he needs to defend. And Executor now moving through the middle is actually ignoring this army and just going to attack Cryok's last running expansion. Siege tanks go down. He's checking out with the Dragoon just to make sure that that is in fact the only expansion Cryok has. Cryok trying to float an SCV or a command center across the map. And here comes part of Cryok's army to try to defend, but it's not going to work. GG. And Executor takes his first win. So, I guess I have to stand by my comment. That was the most passive PvT win I have ever seen. Keep 1 hit to create. Oh. Alright. So, game number 3. We'll see who IFU sends out next. God, I hope it's not a Zerg. And way too many observers. Okay, who's not observing? Okay, you're observing, you're not observing. So, PvP, Executor versus Must. IFU dot Must, who likes to uncapitalize the IFU. Have noticed that. Must is orange, even black text. Executor is now brown. Alright, so PvP on circuit breakers. Okay, pretty standard map. I was making jokes about match point being fighting spirit in space yesterday. And that was being completely sarcastic, but Circuit Breakers actually really is fighting spirit in space. Looks like BMW has left the game. And then there was one observer. Is it still funny? It's still funny. Alright. So, Executor getting the fast gas. Must also getting a fast gas, although it's a bit later for whatever reason than Executors. I think it's significantly later. I don't know why he waited so long to get the gas, but it's not important. There's not a super crisp timing he needs to hit with the gas. Alright. Probe can come up. The Zealot most likely will not be able to block the ramp. You can try to micro it. No, he's not going to try to micro it. Executor's going to be able to sneak in. That ramp is a really wide ramp to try to block with just a single Zealot. But he could have tried to step in front. Anyway, Probe sees the Cyber Core going down. It's still significantly later than Executors. And it's not as if Executor skipped the Zealot. They both built one Zealot. Did Must just have a horrible split this game? And that's why he's like 10 seconds behind? I guess. Anyway, second gateway going down for Executor. Second gateway going down for Must. Executor has not thrown down his second gateway yet. Appears to be saving up for the fast robo. He has enough gas for it. No. He could have thrown that gateway down a lot sooner. Anyway, Executor moving out with a Zealot and a Dragoon, but Must has a Zealot and Dragoon of his own, so won't be able to do very much. A little bit of a micro skirmish in the middle of the map. Must is targeting Executor's Dragoon, while Executor was kind of splitting his attention. And now, looks like Executor's going to lose both of his units. If that Dragoon is microed properly, he should be able to pick off the Zealot. So Must with a little bit of better micro there. Small victory for him to start off the game. So, Robo Facility halfway done for Executor, and Robo Facility halfway done for Must. Well, it appears that they've evened out their timings, other than Must's range being significantly later, but it'll finish before any engagement could possibly happen. And now actually Must is moving out with a pretty strong army for this point in the game. 5 Dragoons and a Zealot. Executor would be pretty much even if he hadn't lost that Dragoon Zealot earlier, but now is actually down quite a bit. He's going to be able to get over the double bridge without having to micro across it, really, and a probe to scout out to see how much Executor has. Executor has to panic a little bit here. Whatever Must can set up here is going to give him an opportunity to throw down a fast expansion if he wants it. Oh. Zealot kind of got left behind there. Oh, Dragoon coming up from behind, sniping that probe. And yeah, Must is going to go for the faster expansion than his opponent. Meanwhile, Executor is forced to make more units as he cannot get down his ramp really safely at this point. Meanwhile, Executor hiding that goon over here. Now Must should put his guys in a nice arc here. Certainly should not try to break the ramp, even if he does have an extra Zealot or a Dragoon. Would not be worth it. To just try to get in a very nice position to prevent Executor from coming down, or at least force him to get a good number of Reavers. Now, kind of surprisingly, neither player is getting their Reaver tech. Both got obs, and then are throwing down gateways behind that. And now, in fact, Executor is getting a Citadel. But the Observer should be out in time to defend against it. Executor running down the ramp now. Pretty good micro from him to get the goons down in an orderly fashion, so he's able to get them to full bear. Now, Must is actually going to try to micro into the main, so the units trade positions here. Interesting exchange. And Must isn't even going to go for probes. He's just going to take the high ground and try to engage. But reinforcements from Executor come up from behind. That should be enough for Executor to get the win. That was rather amusing. Executor lost a few more goons than he should have, because Must was able to do that. And now the final goon's going to have a peek around. Look at the tech. Ooh, but he went around this side. I don't think he saw the Citadel. Huh. Unfortunate for him. So, Robo Facility down for Must. Can start to get Reavers out, although he hasn't started one, nor a shuttle. And Executor hasn't shown what he's going to do with that Citadel yet, if it's for speed, if it's for Templar. He's making a single Zealot. It's not as if he's switching into full Zealot production mode. So, finally Must is getting a Reaver. Pretty late, actually. Almost 9 minutes in before either player gets real tech units. Either the Reavers or the Templar. And there we go. It will be for speed on the Zealots. Executor finally taking his expansion. The Nexus just finishes, but Must has had his up for quite a while. About 150, 200 gone from each patch. A nice advantage for him. Now, first Reaver moving down. Is he building a second Reaver or a shuttle? Nope, shuttle behind that. Apparently Executor doesn't have D&D on. And now Executor's also going to try to take a fast third. Now this is going to be very hard for him to defend, having to defend down a ramp against a bigger army. Ooh. I know he needs to catch up economically, but that is a very risky move to make. And now Must is moving out with Dragoons and a Reaver. I don't think that this was the correct move from Executor to go for this. He still has no tech units. There's no Templar. There's no Reavers. He does have Zealot leg speed, but just a couple of Zealots, so it's not really going to help him very much. He now sees the attack coming in, and I think he's in a lot of trouble here. I don't know why he didn't get any tech units. So, Reaver a little bit placed a little bit too far for Must at the beginning, but now backing it up, and Executor is not even microing against it, so it's going to be able to do a good amount of damage. Must crushing the army, going to be able to take out this expansion. I did not think he's going to be able to defend it, and he wasn't. And oh! A Scarab that actually does what the hell it's supposed to, getting all of the probes. And now moving forward, not even going to bother finishing off the expansion, just wants to go for the kill. And it's a very viable thing at this point. GG from Executor. Must takes game number 3. Alright. Game number 4. So, finally, Funny is not going to be an observer in this game. He is now playing. And then Russian. I do not know what they are saying. Apparently something is Imba. Funny. And Funny is green. Must is blue. I think I got those colors right. Yeah. Funny is green, Must is blue in a PvP on Tau Cross. So, things went pretty well for Must last game. Just kind of realized his opponent made a mistake in expanding too soon, and then punched the mistake and won. See if Funny has a little bit of a different build in mind. Gateway down for both players. Yes, gateway down for both players. On Tau Cross, players like to place their gateway really close to the choke, like Funny did here. So, kind of odd. You know, this is normal on most maps, but on Tau Cross, it's not as common. Anyway, Must is going to get the correct scout, and Funny's heading in the wrong direction. Ooh, Funny getting a second gateway. So we're going to see some early 2-gate aggression from him. Must does scout it out, so he'll be able to respond properly. Now that I think about it, Funny's been obsing all the games, so he has an advantage knowing how his opponent plays that matchup going in. A lot of foreigners do not change up their styles in between games. And Funny might be doing this reactionary to what he saw from Must versus Executor. Anyway, is he sending 2 probes? He is sending 2 probes and a zealot right off the bat. Funny got the core down and is now throwing and now getting a second gateway of his own. So he should be able to hold it off. It's Tau Cross. This is a really small choke for a map with no ramp. Should be fine. And, ooh. Funny's getting in there. He's throwing down 2 pylons to trap the first goon that Must makes in the little pocket here. He needs to try to trap out some of those goons because otherwise they'll be too strong in microing against the Zealot. As you can see here. Looks like the first Zealot's going to go down before the other 2 can get there. Still rallying in more. There are 2 on the way behind the 2 coming in now. And I do not think this is going to work out for Funny. Must already has enough goons out, and Must is a good enough player that he can just micro goons properly against slow lots. Funny doesn't even have enough zealots to send some of the goons to some of the probe lines. He just keeps losing them so fast. It looks like Must actually is starting to micro his dragoons away from his own base. It seems like he wants to get aggressive after taking out those 2 zealots. But no, the Zealots are going to come back, force the Dragoons to chase them a little bit, and manages to take out one of them at least, but two more goons on the way just makes it so much harder for Funny to do anything. Now with second goon down, back to 3. One of them damaged. And these two Zealots going to try to run out of the way, avoid the goons, and he does. Now coming back. So will his backstab with the Zealots work out for him? Anyway, he has 2 pylons in the base, so he knows exactly what it looks like. But I think even if he gets 2 Zealots in there, he's still going to find that there are too many goons to deal with. Now, by attacking with Zealots on 2 different flanks, he is going to be able to force micro situations that are unfavorable for Must. It might be pretty difficult, but... Oh, wow. That doesn't even block. He can get through in between the assimilator and the pylon. That's funny. So, looks like he did the Zealots now. Only getting a single probe kill with each of them, though. So, really just doing so little damage with these Zealots. He does have cannons at his front, so he's going to be safe, and he's expanding behind it. So, he might be able to establish good enough economy. Must is expanding, too, because he realizes that Funny has no offensive capabilities. But really, there's not much that he can do. Funny only now getting a Cyber Core. Probably going to follow it up with DTs. But Must has more than enough time to get up observers. Funny's trying to macro behind this and trying to establish a good economy, but really, is 4 cannons going to be enough to hold off that many Dragoons? He's pulling probes to try to defend, but they don't get there in time. 2 cannons already down, and now the Dragoons can really start to pick off stuff. Not worrying too much about the collateral damage in the process. Taking out yet another cannon, taking out more probes. There's only a single cannon here. Funny needs some more units. He's not going to have time to get any more cannons down. And the last cannon falls, so it's just down to probes. Funny getting pushed back out of the natural, and while Must streams into the main. Goons coming out for Funny, but they're not going to be in time. Probe drill doing some damage to the Dragoons, but he loses his only Dragoon left, and he's able to micro away from the probes. Now, all of his probes are going down. He only has 5 left mining, and the 2 not mining. Ugh. All the probes have been pulled now. Only 5 left. 3 left. And Russian GG, I guess. If that means GG. So, what could be the last game of this series if Must is able to finish it out? IWL needs to win 3 in a row to keep their playoff hopes alive. They're rather small playoff hopes alive. So, for the final player for IWL, we have IWL Finito. And IWL Finito is the purple Zerg. IFU's Must is the white Protoss. And IWL Finito is a 2v2 player who is really good at things that 2v2 players should be good at. He's really good with his lane control, really good with speedling run-bys, and really good at controlling large packs of Mutalisks. But if the game gets into the late game, it just all falls apart for him. So if he's able to finish off Musk early, he can have a really easy victory. But if Musk manages to draw this game out, forces Finito to get to Hive Tech in 5 bases, we could see Musk to be able to really dominate this matchup. Now the map is Gladiator. Gladiator's known as a lurker map, and because lurkers are not speedlings and lurkers are not Mutalisks, not quite Finito's strong suit. Blocking the probe a little bit. So, Finito went for the 12 hatch, and we'll throw down the pool once he gets enough money for it. There we go. Must, though, unable to quite scout it out in time. Excuse me, he would have been able to throw down the Nexus before the Forge if he had known, but I had to play it a little bit safer and throw down the Forge first. Alright. Wait. That's a terrible wall. Not tight, not tight, not tight. That cannon does not cover speedling run-bys in this direction. And Finito's are really good at speedling run-bys. Seriously, this wall is ridiculous. See, Finito already making 8 early lings. That's what he does. Does he have speed on the way yet? Well, we'll see what he gets with the first 100 gas, whether it's speed or lair. Oh, it's going to be lair. But with 8 slow lings, that's enough to break through one of the holes in this wall. Maybe even take out the cannon. He doesn't have an overlord position, so he hasn't quite seen the wall, but there are definitely holes to be had in it, and run by manages to kill 2 lings. Man, that wall was bad. So, 6 lings in the base. Will Finito get speed? Yes, speed has started. Still a ways to go, though. And gonna get us around on the Zealot. Zealot losing 2/3 health. And now a second Zealot coming in, but 2 Zealots isn't even going to be enough to defeat the 6 lings. And both of them go down, only managing to kill 2 lings. So still 4 left to try to rack up probe kills. Oh man, Must is going to take a lot of damage here. He should take a lot of damage here. Trying to pick off some straggler probes. That Must is being pretty alert in pulling back probes when necessary. Ooh. That one getting almost too far ahead of itself. He can take out 1 more Zealot. 4 lings do beat a Zealot if you got a good surround on it. But he really doesn't want to waste that many lings to do so. Cannon going down, he should try to stop that if he can. That will put an end to pretty much anything he can do. 2 more probes going down, but it's going to cost him 2 lings. And now he doesn't have enough stuff to take out the cannon. He's just going to be relying on how much damage he can do before it finishes. Speed is done, making it even harder to catch those lings. I wouldn't be surprised if Finito came up with more lings behind this, but no. That is That's going to be the end of the Lings, and it doesn't appear that he's making any more. Still, good damage with an 8 slow Ling run by off of a 12 hatch. Six more Lings coming in. This wall is still filled with holes, and the Zealots are moving away from the wall, so they can't even block all the holes. Catching a Zealot out in the middle of the map with the Speedlings doesn't even lose one. Finito has great Speedling control. Oh man, it's so good. So, Spire is done for Finito, and the 4th and 5th hatcheries have been started. I would like to see him go into Mutalisks, because I think it's something that he's very good at, even if Mutalisks aren't the best for this map. Setting up a good SimCity, though. Hatchery here, Hydralisk Den here, put the Sunken here and here, and that's completely covered. Good SimCity at the other base as well. Of course, they were trying to get the first Overlord kill, but here come the Scourge. Must, not paying attention. Gonna lose his first Corsair. His Stargate was slightly delayed by the antics of the Lings. And he's gonna lose another one? Yes, he is! Must, losing his first 2 Corsairs. And he is crying about it. I'd cry too, man. Absolutely nothing done. Finito would actually be supply blocked if he had lost that Overlord. Must moving out now. Speed is just finishing. +1 getting pretty close, and there's a Dark Templar follow-up behind this. Now, he doesn't have any Corsair presence, so it's going to be relying on the speed lots to take out any spore colonies, and then hoping that there's not any Overlords around. Here comes the attack. That is a very strong +1 speed lot attack. It's a good SimCity, but not a lot behind it. Must is still going to back off, though. Kills 2 Zerglings. Man, Must isn't even building any more Corsairs. Just stopped Corsair production. Building lots of High Templar, though. He dumped 1,000 gas into High Templar right there. Or, not quite 1,000. 600? I think it's 600. Anyway, DT unable to get into the base as the Corsairs have not taken out any Overlords. And, ooh, good surround by Must on the Hydralisks for Finito. Have to pull away, though, to deal with the Speedlings. And Finito's going to be able to get a lot of shots off. With reinforcing Hydralisks, he's just going to push Must back. Meanwhile, DT getting killed trying to enter the main. So Must has really just been shut down with everything he's tried to do outside of his base. DT's Corsairs and Zealots getting sniped. Archon already out for Must to prepare against possible Mutalisks, as he has no detection. He really doesn't know what Finito is planning. Unfortunately for him, Finito's going for Hydralisks, and there's only 1 cannon down, and there are a lot of Hydralisks at his front. Finito needs to micro a little bit more. That Archon does do a good amount of splash damage if your Hydralisks are that clumped up. All the Zealots have gone down, though, and the Hydralisk can chew through the Archon pretty quickly when it's all alone. That does get by enough time for more cannons to come in, though. How much more energy do those need? They now have enough energy for Storm. Is Storm done? Oh, it doesn't matter. That Archon really saved the day with how much splash damage it got. And the Hydralisk should probably turn around and pick those off. It appears Storm is done. 3 more Hydralisks here, another 9 Hydralisks or so coming up. So Finito's going to be able to re-amp his aggression. Now Gladiator is a pretty small natural, so there's not a lot of room for cannons to go in. Good storm dodging. Very nicely placed storm though, so still going to cost him 3. How many storms are left? 1, 2. He has 2 storms in there. Oh, very good storm placement. Finito doesn't lose any of them, but still. Lurkers are now on the way. Finito has not taken a 4th yet, so he's really just committing to lots and lots of Hydras and Lurkers. Building a creep colony. That's a bit preemptive. Probably to defend against drops. And Must is moving out, but he's going to move out into a whole mess of Zerg. He should really pull back now. Storm going down, hitting a couple of the Lurkers. Another Storm, a very good Storm in fact, hitting 4 Lurkers and a pack of Hydralisks. And actually, that does not cost Must too much. It could have been a lot worse. +1 is done. It looks like the Forge is going to be taken out before +2 can finish, though. It's going to be pretty close, though. Lurkers are pretty slow at taking out buildings. Well, maybe not. Maybe the Lurkers won't quite get it. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. I think the Lurkers got it. I think, yeah, the Lurker's just barely getting it. Stopping that +2 from finishing. Not even able to hit that gateway. Ooh. Ooh. We got some drop action going on. Just going to elevator a couple Lurkers into the main. Over fancy ships. But there are 2 cannons in there, so the Lurkers have to get pretty far back to avoid them. Meanwhile, Hydralisk at the front, trying to distract Must from the Lurkers coming in the back. And wow, those Lurkers are actually out of range. Are they going to get a lot of kills? They could get a lot of kills. Must isn't reacting. Must is not reacting to the Lurkers. Oh, man. That's 10 probe kills right there, and he could even pick them up and run away with them, because they're not going to be able to do too much damage after that. But still, 10 probe kills, a great use of them, forcing all the other probes to pull away, too. So that base is completely empty, and he's not even sending anything down to deal with it. He's just accepting the fact that there are Lurkers there. Templar coming out. Is it going to storm? No, it cannot find a good place to storm. Does manage to kill that Lurker. But the High Templar still managed to die. So 1 High Templar for 1 Lurker, not worth it. And he picked up the other Lurker and hiding it in the Overlord. Observers are finally out, so we can start to deal with these. I don't know why he just hid it in the... We just put in the Overlord, though. Is this gonna die? Alright, that's fine. Meanwhile, Must snuck a probe out and is trying to set up an expansion here. That could be really bad if Finito does not figure it out. But a good Zerg player will... Oh! Good Zerg player will storm dodge a little bit better. But a good Zerg player will eventually send a scout over in that direction just to be sure. We saw Zeke do that exactly on this map against Gotunk, just to be sure that Gotunk was not going for an expansion when he had a big army at the front. Finito still putting on a lot of pressure. There's not a lot of defenses here, so if Must loses too much of his army, Finito could go in for an attack and possibly do a lot of damage to the natural. There are so many Lurkers here. They're not terribly well spread out, though. Ooh, getting the Observer snipe. Very nice. Must still has a bunch of them, though. Sneaking out an Archon and a Zealot. And the Dragoons now moving forward for Must. Finito bringing in the rest of his units. He's trying to snipe the Observer, and yes, he does get both Observers. Is going to force Must back because he has no more detection. Very nice Observer snipes. Must still has not taken a fourth, though. He's just been on 3 bases. Hasn't even gotten up to Hive Tech. He's just been so committed to rallying in more Lurkers, rallying in more Hydralisks. And his defense is starting to look a little bit flimsy at this point. Must still has this expansion. Finito finally going to see it with an Overlord. He can take that out. Good. If he let that go for a bit too much longer, that could have been really bad. But he has an opportunity to attack it before Must can break the contain. There is a single Observer left. Are there Scourge to try to snipe it? No, if he wants to try to snipe it, he's going to have to use Hydralisks. And he's moving forward. Yes, he does still manage to get the Observer snipe. Such good control from Finito. Now sending a good number of Hydrolurk over to deal with that pesky side base. Could choose to just go up the front, but it might cost him a lot of units. Might be better off lifting in the back. Ooh, is he going to ignore it? He obviously saw it as he had a Lurker up here, but then brought it back. Maybe he's just going to plan on ignoring it and try to attack. Lurkers moving forward, doing a lot of good damage, but they're clumped up. If there's a storm, it could be really bad. Good storm going down. That second storm was not so good, though. That was a nice storm. He just cannot quite break the Protoss every time he attacks. He should probably pull back now because he's just not going to be able to finish it off. Well, he is doing a lot of damage. Oh, that storm. The storm was good. Drone being brought into the conflict. Oh, gets the Observer snipe once again. But this time around, there's another. Not only is there another Observer, but there's no more Lurkers anyway. And Finito's going to continue to attack here. Gets the other Observer. So Must has lost like 6 Observers to Observer snipes now. And Finito. Oh, man. I really think Finito should have attacked that base. He's now at like half supply despite how well he's been doing this game. And now he's going to try to expand. Oh, man. Must have dropped off these units a while ago. So, catching the Protoss a little bit out of position. Snipes an Archon, snipes a Templar. Even going to get a Goon in the retreat. Now, all the Protoss units are trying to run back up to this third, and the Hydralisks are really not going to be able to break it. So they're going to be forced back. But now Must is going to be able to expand to the center. Must would have been mined out if Finito had just taken out this base when he had the opportunity. He scouted it, but instead went for the kill. Oh, Finito. Coulda, shoulda won. Looks like the Protoss getting an okay flank off, but Speedlings coming in as reinforcements means that the Zerg could do a little bit more here. Storm killing off the Lings. And both players mutually back off with the few units they have left. Does he have upgrades? Yeah, he does have 2 attack upgrades for the Hydralisks. Ooh, good number of Lurkers coming in from the side. Ooh, the Templar just barely gets out of the way. I thought it should have died that splash, but manages to dodge some of the spikes. And more Hydras coming in. He might be able to stop this expansion from going down, but that's not. But even if he does, he's still not in a very good position. It's now 85 supply compared to 63. So Finito's starting to make it closer. Was down by 40, now down by 20-ish. Oh, 30-ish. He did take a 4th, which is good. Still no hive tech. Actually, I'll look up the Dragoon, because the Dragoon kept missing. So, more Lurkers, more Hydralisks coming up. I think this time around, Must isn't actually going to be able to hold this expansion, and he's going to lose it. The cannons have gone down, the Templar have pulled back, he has reinforcements, so it's just a matter of how long is he going to wait before sending them in. He will have a high ground advantage when he does decide to move down, but the Hydralisks are going to do a pretty good job of distracting, and the Nexus is going to fall, but a lot, excuse me, but a lot of the probes managed to get away. Must still pretty hurting for money, under 100 supply, compared to Finito, who's under 70. It's just this expansion, which is now looking too tight to attack. Must trying to push out again while Finito is trying to reestablish the contain. Nice storms going down, and Finito snipes yet another observer. So the one lurker here is going to hold Must back yet again. Ooh. I missed the attack on that base. Another wave of Hydra Lurker for Finito, but Must just going to pull back. Probably not big enough really for Finito to engage. Must now has a lot of storms. And is he really trying to long distance mine? Storm going down, missing a lot of the units. Another storm, still not very good. He's not doing a whole lot of damage with these storms, but he doesn't need to. He has enough Zealots and Dragoons that he can do damage outside of that. I think he really is just long distance mining here, which is kind of funny. Takes out the Archon, and now these Hydralisks are going to move forward without any storms to prevent them. Observer coming out though, so the Lurkers are going to go down. That's a good storm. I think that might have... No, there's one storm left. Finito is once again going to be forced back. Must is back to being at almost double supply, and Finito's back to being only down to 3 bases. But Must has lost all of his units, and they're not goons, so the goons are going to have to look for reinforcements to help them out. Ugh. Trying to rebuild the Nexus there, if Finito can be held off for the time being. Brings in the Scourge to try to snipe the Observer again, would have got it, but no Overlord. Finito finally going for a hive, but I think it might be too late, as he is under 50 supply. Must at 110. And now Must really does have map control. Finito's attack finally wore off, and he just couldn't quite break Must. Very close on numerous occasions, but Must was just able to hold it. I'm not sure what he's going to get with Hive. He really just does not have very much money. Not to mention that the 3 bases he have are almost mined out. Main's gone, Natural's down to 3 patches, and he's even missing 1 from this expansion. So this attack is pretty much it for Zerg, and when Zerg comes down to 1 attack, it very rarely works out for them. 58 to 127. Does manage to get another Observer. That must be like the 12th observer that Finito's managed to kill this game. So, I'm pretty sure there's not anything Finito could do in this position. Must's army is extremely goon heavy, so maybe some amazing swarms, but I don't think so. Must finally caught up with Finito's Hydralisk force. They're just going to go down very quickly. And Finito does not have the money to remake them, while Must can remake any casualties he loses. GG from Finito, and Must wins 3 games and eliminates IWL from Gambit Cup. So, while we do know which 6 teams will be in the playoffs, we have GT, NB, LRM, IFU, Reps, and SAS. The question will be in what order and which 2 teams managed to get the bye. 2 more weeks to figure that all out. Thank you to the sponsors, Nerbopolis, Prowler, and the main sponsor, Twitch TV. Twitch TV does a lot of great stuff. We really appreciate them. Thank you to the organizer, Awa. Thank you to the teams, and thank you to all the viewers for watching. I'll be back next week, Saturday and Sunday, for more Brood War action. So, see you guys then. Bye.